More energy, bro. Hmm. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, Paul.
How's everything?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just a little bit tired, but
It's all your late nights coding.
yeah, all good. I think that's the only time I can actually, get some creative ideas.
I know. I hear you. You know, creativity, inspiration comes when it comes, no matter what. So,
How did you like? I wasn't able to look at your code. I think it was hard for me to like debug it and like kind of go through it. So I just like decided to like went through like the whole thing. Because it was very systematic actually. It was long. This one was definitely long.
yeah. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Because we started a mini study group with a few of us from class, and
Nice.
well, they all chose the Paimoli, the gaming one, because they were like, "Oh, we heard
Finally.
it was easier and shorter," and I'm like, well, nobody told me. I went straight and I'd already
Yeah,
done so much. So I was
I
like, well, I'll
think
just stick with it.
it would be good actually. I was thinking about that. Like I was looking at two of those. I was like, I think I remember you said you did the harder one. So I was like, okay, I did choose the right one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's, I of course I didn't know that, at the time. So,
Yeah,
but I figure I'll just torture myself and finish it up. And it seems to be, I stared at it again for a while this afternoon.
yeah,
I think I think it's more syntax errors, and I think from what I can tell, or
yeah. It's
something's
usually
not
the case.
defined,
You
and
get
but
you
it
get the logic. You get the logic. Like for the most part,
somewhat,
like, kind of it,
yeah,
everyone has that problem. And you just have to spend time because it's like the way you start it. Because like that's why if I debug it, like someone else's code, the syntax error comes in every single time. You'll never catch everything. So you're
yeah,
gonna take so much more time because you're gonna get frustrated with, oh, did I miss like a letter? Like I don't know why this is not working. It seems like it should be working.
totally, totally. And I've just so I hit I hit a roadblock, and I know it's small stuff because like 1 out of the 10 charts
Yeah,
works.
yeah.
so um so it's probably something simple that I just need like your eyes on to go, okay, you know what, you spelled this wrong or something. And
Probably, yeah. It's
you
usually the
know,
case.
and I think
Did
that
you
would do it.
did you finish like did you do like the at least like lay out the groundwork for because I think I remember when I did like these scores ones, like when I did like scores by school spending, they were pretty much the same as these guys. Like all
Right.
and I think like
Yeah.
was it the math scores by grade, that's pretty much the same like format if you did it once.
Yeah, I set that up where there was like one that was like, the percent, the math and reading, they tended to go together.
You just have to change one word.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And, so setting up the variables, I think I got through that, except I did have a syntax error. And even though it shows you where, I don't see
Yeah.
the specific error.
That's a lot.
Um,
Like, yeah, you're getting that now. That's good. That's good that you're at least yeah, because like when you see that, sometimes the error that pops out, like sometimes it's very obvious, but other times it's like a consequence of your error.
yeah.
But that main error, like it's not showing up.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm just like, okay, I'm like 90% there. I just need you to kind of walk me to the finish line. And
Okay, okay,
if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Like last time, I'll use some of your code, but
yeah.
I
I think
went
it's
this
good.
far.
This one is definitely a harder. Like last time, it's not like it's less. You have more time to work on it, like like debugging it. This one,
Yeah.
there's like so many things that
Yeah.
like I feel like yeah, just definitely just use my code if you have to. It's due tomorrow, right? Like
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah. If you have like, I was actually thinking if you wanted to, if this was easy, you could also do the other guy, because he gives you both of the databases, right?
He does. He
Yeah.
does. And yeah, I don't want to be, I mean, super come on. Come
I
on.
think it's kind of fun. I'll probably send you something similar to it. It's like Pomoli, right? The game. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll just send you maybe something so you can take a look at. Like if you want to look back, because you guys are going to be doing a project, right? Like, is it this next one?
Yeah, the next I think next week we start on an actual group project, and it's a heavy amount of database work, and
Okay.
looking at he showed us the machine learning website that you had shown me, the UCI one.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
he's
machine
like,
learning.
yeah, I know that that's there. And
Yeah, they use it a lot. I think not just you, like everyone actually in California, especially. Yeah.
yeah, and then there was another one that he's like, he wanted us to be aware of, because one
Okay.
of our projects, it's going to be heavy database work and how it all works. Kaggle.
Kaggle, yeah, that's how the.
Kaggle.
I think you have to register for that one though.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But it's like
Well,
it's free though. It's free. Like you just have to like the UCI one. It's like you don't have to register. They're both free. But like
okay.
Kaggle is good, I think, because there's like some what is it called? There's some competition like that they do every week. You can,
Oh.
I don't know if you win anything. Maybe you get so good and then you just do this and you. No, I don't know what you win honestly. It's like, but it does. It's good for a challenge, you know. Like everyone does something to that extent.
Oh, I think I'd get through the first line and then cry and then just watch everyone else. So they'd be done.
But there's such a, yeah, like machine learning ML. It's such a big community now. There's before it's like it used to be just software, like you know, like computer science, software engineering,
Yeah.
and then like machine learning, like in the like last 5 years. That's like myself. I'm not really a machine learning. You know, I'm not a computer science per se, but that's why I'm actually getting into it because of this whole data science thing. It
Mm,
like evolves so much that I feel like everyone should be doing it. Like not just like computer scientists. Uh,
yeah. It touches every industry, it seems like. And so,
yeah,
we'll, I'll do what I can.
that's good. I'm glad that you're on board with this because like a lot of I'm actually like I said I'm teaching like other people and you're actually way ahead than everyone else.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you're catching it more than other people because especially there's like three classes in one, right? VBA and
Yeah.
Python. Yeah, like we have you remember that R program? The
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
like R is actually a lot of my other students like they're not really. If you do get a chance, it's always like nice to be curious, you know, like
Hmm.
and see like what other programs are out there, and then and kind of like after this class maybe you can take a look at yeah how it relates like maybe because all the things you're doing in Python here you can definitely do it in R, and R is
Okay.
free as well.
Well, definitely, I think we were laughing in the student group for like, because some are IT people and
Oh, they already
others
did it.
use
That's
like,
good.
some sort of variation of Excel and VBA. And I use basic Excel. I don't need to do, VBA functions or macros at all.
Yeah,
But
along with everyone else. Yeah, like nobody
yeah,
knows about the VBA until like what? Like I know about macros regular, but I didn't know there was like this whole code thing in Excel.
yeah, yeah. Well, I knew there was, in the program I think is dead now. There was a sister program to it that would do the macros, and I
Oh yeah,
forget what it's.
which one is that
Um,
one?
God, it was so Excel and
Is it just called Visual Basic?
no, it wasn't. Oh my gosh, does it start with an A? They would always sell it as, not sell it, but it was a sister program. Like if you needed to do macros, you would get into,
Hmm.
oh, I think it's
I'll
on
look
its
it
way
up.
out. It doesn't, I mean, it doesn't matter to me because I'm not doing it, but
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Yeah, I know there's a C, but like I don't know. It starts with an A. You said okay.
I think it starts with an A and yeah, definitely, it's a Microsoft packaged program. Um,
Oh, Access.
Access,
There you go.
yes.
Okay, I kind of blacked out. I probably knew
Yeah. the
that.
trauma of trying to use that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Access. Yeah, like it's not bad. It does it's table. Everything is like tabular, isn't it? Like you could do
yeah,
like smart tables. Yeah.
yeah, kind of that earlier version of. Well, I know VBA is old too, so it's kind of like along those lines. So it's just a little too much, and I didn't need to use it, so I didn't.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Like, you could forget about it. It's not that important. Like the from what I've seen, like I said, like Python is the way to go. You could like if anything, it would be R or Python. But I don't know why people are using. I think it's mostly like if you're doing like public health. You know, public health does a lot of R. But if
oh,
you're doing business, like business oriented, like Amazon, and like what was it, Google? Yeah, they use Python. I'm pretty sure.
okay.
And
Yeah,
that's kind of yeah.
I'm hoping that at least I get, out of this class, I told them like one program, of all the 10 or 12 that we learn, I at least hold on to one.
Yeah, exactly. There's always one you have to stick to because like you know how like when you know all of it, it's technically like maybe just the surface, but if you focus on like the one, maybe you can get to the depth of it. And
Yeah.
even if you do learn it, there's like so many things evolving, you know. Like people are
Yeah,
still writing them, developing. So
it's
okay,
crazy.
all right.
Crazy.
Did you wanna? How did you wanna? Like, I know you had like questions about like the GitHub one. I saw your
Um,
professor's comments. How was that? Yeah.
yeah, so okay, so I guess the homework goes to a central grading system
Okay.
of group of people, and my instructor, he told us to folderize within one repository. They're
Okay.
saying do separate. So they're fighting internally. So he said leave it as is. So
Leave it as is. Okay. I think that's fine. Yeah.
so for right now, we're okay on GitHub. I mean, there's a couple of tweaks here and there that I'm like, when I'm pulling from GitLab into my desktop and I have to
Yeah.
git clone.
Yeah. You know how to do that, right? The get cloning.
Yeah, I know how to do that. The problem is, the clone button is only at the very beginning of the repository.
I remember now. Yeah.
And
It's not
so it
inside the. Yeah.
it takes all of those files every time, and I'm like, I don't need every file. I just need you to update the
Yeah.
ones I don't have. And I'm like, so I've got like UCI Irvine, like,
Yeah.
oh, it's
So
going to create another link. I'm
yeah.
like, this is ridiculous. So, I end up after the work is done, then I delete what I don't need. So I just have one, but
Yeah.
that's a little bit of annoyance, but
Yeah. That's a
you
lot
know,
of stuff. Yeah. But as long as there's a process that can work, like, so you can turn it in and then you can make it work, right? Right.
yeah. And in GitHub, I still have issues with git add and git submit, but what I have been doing is on GitHub is just uploading, adding
Manually.
files,
Yeah.
and it shows as a commit still.
It does?
So
Okay. Yeah, I've known that, like, that's what I did first. Like usually like people do that, and then if you're really into like maybe yeah, the whole Git bash thing, yeah, you can obviously do it like through the MS DOS as well. It's more flexible that way.
mm,
But yeah, stick with that. Just like doing the GUI of like uploading or downloading. Just stick
yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean eventually I know I have to I think when it gets to the project, I'll have to figure out a way to add
Through the
branches and files so that
okay.
others can share. And so I'll need your help with that. And
Yeah,
I
I can
don't,
help you with that. Is your thing able to like share?
well, okay, well, this is a big reveal. We'll try. If I lose you, I'm going on PC. So
The thing
let's,
is right now it's because of the whole wildfire. I think that started again. Because I remember when that started. That's when things went blurry. Like
yeah.
for me, it's been like that too. But I think maybe you could try like not Zoom, but do you have Teams by chance? Like
I do on my PC, not on my Mac, because it's Zoom. Zoom's the only one required for a
okay,
class. So, but what I did is I uninstalled Zoom and reinstalled. One of the TAs told me to at least try that because they said because my CPU was running hot on certain because everything's taking so much
yeah, yeah,
um, that it wasn't necessarily a bandwidth issue. It was it could have been strictly Zoom. So today I joined through the app, and
okay.
it I don't know. This will be the first attempt. So
Okay. Did you want to show me something, or did you want to talk about like the program, the homework first?
let's do the homework first, and
Okay.
then
Did you?
yeah,
Did I sent you this like version 1, version 2?
I
Please.
got the second one. Yeah.
The second one, there was something wrong with like the way how like there's like file names. The file name wasn't really correct for the key. So
Okay.
so like I guess the very first thing I think you know most of these already. It's just like the nitpickiness, like once you get to like actually like messing with the filtering, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the part where you do the iLocks. The iLocks are like pretty hard to like kind of get a grasp of, right?
Yeah.
But mainly, yeah, you just like what I do first is this. So, and then how I did this is like when every time you pre-process, you would just do the reading, right? You read the file, and then like you're given two different CSVs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you get into the different CSVs, but you want, I think they want you to put that together. That's like straight off like, oh, you're gonna be using a merge command, right?
Right.
Yeah. So like, so the merge command is how are you with that one?
You know, he went over it again a little bit last night, and
Okay.
I'm okay with it. You know, it's fine once he's walking through stuff. It's afterwards when he gives the here's 8 minutes to complete an assignment, and I stare at the screen going,
That's not
what?
enough time, honestly. 8 minutes. Is it like graded? Is that like optional?
It's just in class coding just for practice. So the
Okay. Yeah,
only the only
that's
thing
too
that
short to
yeah.
do something. I can't even do like 8 minutes. Like
Well, and he's still going too. So it's like I just stare and go, you
yeah.
know, because he always throws in something new, and I guess that's the point of it is trying something new.
Uh,
And did you have time
okay.
to go back to your database, and did you have time to go research? I'm like, well,
Yeah.
if I
There's a
did
lot.
that, then I have a minute left.
Do you guys have time to like show him like your code, like debug it? There's no.
No, I mean we go through Slack if we're having issues, but what he does, yeah, and he goes through at the end of the 8 minutes, he'll show us the solution and then provide the solutions like a day later in the GitLab, so we can download them and practice them.
I
But
see. Like he gives
yeah,
you time to think, and then like, okay, at least okay, that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
it's he's like, I want you under pressure so you get how, you know, but fast it could, you know, they may want you to be. And I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah. At
I
least it's
just need to
not.
get it.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah. But like yeah, for merge in any case, like for merge, like since you have two of these guys, that's not the hard part. The harder part to think about is like these two.
Hmm.
Is like there's like other ones. There's like left on, and then for this one, the way I just like made it like easy. I just put the on one, and then the on one is whatever you put in here. Like I kind of visualize these ones so that it's easy to see. So the first one here is like the student one,
Hmm.
and then the next one here is the school one, right?
Hmm.
And then like this is just like okay, how am I gonna merge them? So there's the one that's common, which is like school, right?
Hmm.
So you just put that on here, and then whatever you put on how, that's like if this guy's on the left, then that's how it's gonna be. And like that's gonna be on the left, which is like this guy right here. So
Okay.
and then everything else is gonna be this one is gonna be on the right. If you put right on this one will switch. So it's just like a matter of like looking at it again. Like most of the time, you'll understand the syntax if you like play around with the command.
Okay.
That's why I always like say like try experiment. That's the
Hmm.
only way you can get acquainted with the commands.
Very true. Very true.
So that's pre-processing. You're just cleaning up, and reading the files. And oh yeah, the other part to it is remember that thing when I think you did it for the last assignment that we mapped like the strings to an integer, like inside the data frame.
Yeah. So you're changing. Let's see.
This
You're
is this is the other
converting
command
it.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like the for loop way, which I think that way is like you should never do that. Like because like for loop always takes a long time.
Yeah.
But like the if you're doing like pandas, you can either do I think map or map if you're not doing pandas, or if you do map, like pandas actually has two numeric.
Two numeric. Okay.
Yeah, which just takes like whatever you have in your data frame, which is always a string. Like when it reads it, it's always a string. And if you want to do some math with it, you need to do this to numeric, and then you know how like this is pretty much the same thing, right? This
Hmm.
is kind of like it's not really a trick, but like you make it equal itself, but now that thing is not a string. It's like it's still the same variable, but then you're just changing that variable to inside to like from a string to an integer or like a number.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like an integer. And then same with these guys. The only reason why like I kind of split them is because some of this merge data frame is like these ones which you'll need for not all of them. So that's why I have these guys as like just the school. It's not the school and the student. So that's really what that is. Like a lot of times you're gonna be like merging and seeing like how you're gonna arrange your. Oftentimes, yeah, you could also change where your columns are, but I didn't do that for this one. But I will do that for these ones. So these next ones, I think the very first thing I did is I just did some calculations. Uh, did you guys cover? I think we talked about a little bit about lock, right? I lock or lock.
Yes, and so I'm looking for the location, right? Anywhere
Yeah, it's like
there.
if you do you. I'm trying to think if there's like Excel command that's kind of like iLock. It's kind of like if you remember, which one was that one?
Is it like find and select?
It's kind of like that one. Like it's the
Okay.
one where you can actually look for look for a cell from
Mhm.
like an attribute of another. Oh, which one is that one?
Oh.
H look, V look. I think it's V look.
Ooh,
V lookup, V lookup. There you go. That's the one.
huh.
Have you heard of V lookup before from
I
Excel?
haven't.
Okay, yeah, V lookup or H or V look, whatever. It's kind of like iLock. But in any case, like for this one, what it's doing is like I want to look at the merge data frame, and then I want to filter it with only where the math scores are greater than 70, right? Like
Hmm.
this is that part. Uh, and what I don't like about like sometimes when you're filtering, you can't actually see what you filtered. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
gives you just this one liner of like characters. You've seen those run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is you have to like think about it logically. Like you could see what this merge df is, but once you write all these other filtered ones, it just gives you like, okay, it's inside there, but you can't visualize it. But to just break it down, we talked about like lists and like when you're like slicing a list and slicing a data frame. Uh, this one is just saying in the merge df, I want everything that are great that for a math score that are greater than 70. And what are we trying to get here? We're trying to get the passing percent.
Passing. Yeah. Who's passed? Yep.
So once you have that table that filtered, you're gonna count how many math scores you have for each one of them, for each school, I think. And then for each one of those, that's how many math scores you have. You're gonna divide it by the total number of students, which gives you like the percentage, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Same with this guy. And like, yeah, for this one, you're just gonna add them.
Add them together. That's right.
Yeah. And then we kind of talked about this too. So for each one of these, this is kind of like the flow. I do some calculations, and then and after that, I put them inside like a data frame, like their own individual data frame, because I want to do like a summary. So like all of that is going to be just like a dictionary, and then after that, you arrange the columns. I think depending on like how they want you to format that and that one is just so when you define a data frame, you do a dictionary. For this one, you just do like a double bracket. So this is kind of like just a matrix, but this is just how you do it.
Okay.
And you see what I did here? It's kind of like you could write this a different way where, but like the way I wrote here, this is like a coding thing where if you line them up this way, it's easier to see what they are. Like what are they? Like it's easier to like interpret than if they were horizontal.
Yeah, I could definitely read it a lot easier, and I could tell that you're creating a dictionary there, right? With the
Yeah. Like if
braces.
you were to
Yeah.
explain this to someone, right? Like it's like so much easier, right? Because like oftentimes it may go off page.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't know what you're saying. It's hard to
Exactly.
find.
But that's a trick that like for me like in the beginning it's just actually getting somewhere. In the beginning it's just you just need to get somewhere. It's not like format. You don't care about formatting.
Right. Exactly.
But when you get better, like then formatting comes into play, like with plots. You guys probably talk about matplotlib. That's the next thing I want to give you actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we got more into matplotlib and pandas last night, and
Okay.
so
It's
Yeah.
fun though, right? Looking at the actual pictures of like there's so many
Yeah.
things you can do in like Python versus like other like Excel. The thing is, with Excel, you have all those tools, right? But it's
You
not
can.
yeah, it's not as flexible though. Because
Right.
I guess take it as it is. Like if you like clicking things rather than like typing things,
Yeah.
and then like with R is I don't know why people. It's very like the way you look at things is very weird. But like with Excel, it's just more visualized, more colorful, more attractive.
Hmm.
Okay, so you do that, and then what I'm doing here, you don't have to do this, but like it's another visual thing, A lot, it's pretty much like I like everything to be like if it's a score or like a percentage, I want them to be like 3, and then if it's like if it's like a money thing, then I would put a dollar sign.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I do this a lot. I actually do this with my plots. I do this with my tables. And this makes it more visually and easily interpreted. Uh, the one thing to note though is when you do this, like later on, you may have to redefine something because the
Oh.
moment that you do this, the moment you do this, this is not. It's gonna come along with like for the rest of the way. So if you're doing like math on this guy, you're gonna add dollar signs. You can't do that, right?
Oh, yeah. True. True. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what it's like those things. Like you know that you can format something, but then make sure because when you get an error, you know where it's coming from. And I felt that it was because of this. So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but it's just your numbers are just hard to see and interpret what they are. So that's the first one. And then I guess for the school one, very similar. Uh, you do a bunch of these guys and you filter them again and you just do some statistics and what else is it? And then the percentages, same thing. And then and then this guy you do another data frame after you do the calculations,
Hmm.
and then you rearrange the columns, and then you format, and then you print it. So it's pretty systematic, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Except yours turned out, mine didn't. So, and it
But
looks similar enough
yeah,
to what I was working on. I'm just
that's good.
obviously yours
That's
is
good.
much cleaner.
Nah, like I said, do you you're starting to comment these guys, right? Like usually the way I do it is it's easier for me to interpret if I do the pseudocode. Like I know the steps, right? Like that
Yeah.
from beginning to end. Now you just have to like fill it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does help to at least kind of step back, take a step at a time,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah. What are you able to get the? I think I feel like the harder part is probably this part, like getting the actual values. Are you able to get the values at least?
um I feel like my math functions are similar enough to yours
Okay.
that it would if the file came out would
Okay.
have the same scores as yours. So I'm thinking with these, yeah, the total budget, that makes sense when you're
Okay.
averaging scores,
Yeah.
totally makes sense. And then merging between two files.
Yeah. These ones, I think these what is it? 5 of these guys look easy. It's like the unique one, right? And you find like how many there are. We've done that many times.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've done statistics, and then I think this one is this one isn't that bad. Like once you get the syntax, like why you're doing this thing right here.
Yeah. That took me a while.
But like once you get it, it's like, oh, okay, that's like the flow of it, because you need to understand like the flow of it, like the syntax of like
Yeah.
where to put things. Like I think this one is easier than what I did here. I did the group by this guy right here,
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
because then we're doing this by school. That's why. And
That's
this one
right.
you didn't have to because it was already by district. So you just have to play around with it. Because like I said, it's hard. It's hard to visualize because nothing comes out of it. But
Right.
it's just one like liner of like characters. But if you put this group by like maybe you look at let's documentations like, oh, okay, is that helpful though? Looking at documentation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, and the instructor recommends it as well. It's like you need to refer to documentation, otherwise.
In the beginning, yeah. Like in the beginning, it's like you're gonna have to look at like what it does, but then once you get acquainted to it, it's like okay, you know it now, and it's just the
Mhm.
ones that you don't know, and then you just build it, build it, build it, and then eventually you don't even need it anymore. You're
Well,
eventually you're gonna be the one making the documentation.
sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely. I could see myself a year from now.
But it's fun though. Like the one thing about this, like sometimes it's like that's the thing. Like if you what is it called? If you're dyslexic, I have a client that's like he's like dyslexic, and he told me
Oh,
like explicitly. So I was like, oh okay, but ADHD and dyslexia is like, oh okay, like
mm,
uh that's the thing. If this is something you like, and you're gonna love doing it, even if you spend like 20, 40, 60 hours,
I see.
debugging it, or if it's not something you like, then at least you learned like a program.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely more interesting.
Yeah,
And I think as he goes into more um, real world situations
yeah,
where it would be used instead of just theory, then that makes it'll start making even more sense, I think,
okay.
how things are being used, how these Python's being used, how these charts, why you would be asked to do this, that type of thing.
I think the project, the group project, will definitely give some light to that because yeah, like I don't know what your guys' topic are, but are you guys presenting it too? Or
We'll be presenting that last week, and he hasn't handed it out yet, but I'm sure it involves Panda, Matplotlib, combination of everything, all these charts, and yeah, who knows?
well, it'll be
A
fun. It'll
lot.
be fun. Like I think the collaborative aspect is like you won't like for example this one you were in charge of like doing everything right like for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah, the homework is always individual.
Okay, but hold up a second. I got like can you hold a sec like
Sure.
1 minute. All right, I'm back.
Hello.
All right, cool. Yeah, it was just a message from someone.
No worries.
Okay, so where was I?
You're finishing up. You just went down to this section, the
Okay,
summary sort values.
okay. So like for these ones, so you got this part right. I guess the gist of like doing these other ones.
Calculating and then formatting. Yep.
Yeah, and then let me see. One more second.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So for these ones, the top and bottom, like they're not that difficult. It's just the way do you remember we did the sorting?
Yes. So sort values, ascending, descending.
Yeah, you
Okay.
have to mess with like ascending false, ascending true, and yeah, like because when it says top, like it has to be like top one. It's a bit from the highest one, right?
Hmm.
And then all you have to do is really you just do the sort for both of these. It's really what it is.
What's tail? I don't know that one.
Oh, tail. So what I did here is so getting from the school summary, and then tail is like the bottom. Head was like the top five, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, gotcha. Gotcha. Yes.
And like I think for this one, all you have to do is just that. You can actually visualize this without the tail, like if you wanted to, and then you can take a look at like what this guy is, and that's why I did that because then it makes it go from the lowest to highest, and then these are the bottom five.
Okay.
So that one isn't that bad. I think they only wants it for top five and bottom five.
Bottom five. Yeah.
And these ones, the math scores and reading scores. Um, so this one, I think it's like average, right?
Yes. By grade. Yes. This.
Okay. So this is kind of like just using the lock. This is the trick here, right? The lock filter with like grouping them, group by. And then like that group, so when you group them by that, then you can take the mean after you, because this part right here takes the mean by each school name. But this
After
part
you
right here,
get them. Okay.
you're only looking at this portion, the ninth grade, and this portion. When you do the ILOT,
Okay.
it's just the by grade, and then when you do this group by math score, that mean this is like for each school name. I want you to do the average for the math score.
Only for the 12th grade. Okay. So you
Yeah.
start with the grade and then you group within the school. Within the school, then the math score is what they're essentially asking for, and then the mean. Okay. Okay.
And after you do that, you pretty much just do the same thing. great. Because this is all the calculations.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah.
not that bad. Like I said, like I think the harder ones were like the top two, and it just kind of dwindles down.
Yeah. Yeah.
So after you do that, yeah, you put the data frame, you rearrange it again, and then you format it.
Okay.
And then this is it. This is what you get.
Okay.
So yeah, it's and then out like you see, it's like it's when I didn't format this, I was just like, okay, it just doesn't look. It was too long. It just looks clean
Mm.
the way it is now.
Yeah, it does.
And let me see. And then sometimes like when it does the calculation, they're all like they vary in like their significant digits.
Mm. So, can you review then the map? See the map? Um, I always get confused by that with the colon and then the 3F and
Oh, this guy.
yeah, this formatting. It's like I said, mine was spaghetti code, so
It's fine. So what you do here is like, so what you have inside is pretty much like how you're gonna format each one of these.
Mhm.
When you do this like 3F, that's when like the three decimal places, right? And then I think what this guy is like the colon is just everything from this guy, like so this colon right here says like everything from like you're not accounting for like the ones digit, right?
Oh,
And
so everything before the period
yeah,
is accounted for, and then everything after you're asking for a 3-digit function. Or
yeah.
not a function, but
This one isn't really that great because it only shows you one way. Let me
yeah.
take at like this where there's like actually examples. So if you look at this guy, the total students, let's take a look
Mhm.
at that one. So see, this one doesn't have decimals, right?
Right.
So let's take a look at the syntax. So from here, all you don't even need to put anything after the comma. The
Hmm.
comma right here also tells you, let's just like look at it. So the comma right here tells you to,
Uh-oh.
oh, what happened?
Oh, I bet you have to rerun everything again.
Let's try to look at that. Oh man, sometimes it does this.
There you go.
Okay, that one ran. Let's take a look at this guy. There you go. Okay. So the comma right there, it's pretty much your delimiter, right? For
Mm.
over 1,000.
Hmm.
So if you put in a comma, then everything after that, and then if you put in more, everything else here, like if you put in a dot, let's see if you put in a dot. But that dot doesn't do anything. You have to put in like F.
Okay, so you need the F in there.
So like this one right here pretty much tells you like how many significant digits.
Okay.
And if you put in like an F, that's like a float, I believe. Or,
Float. Okay, that's right.
and then if you put in a percentage, then it puts it like, a symbol after the number.
Mm.
And if you put in this dollar sign, you can put in like any other thing here if you wanted.
Okay.
So that's just symbols beforehand. Like so this whole thing really is just this number, right? Like
Hmm.
inside the parentheses or the curly braces. And then
Yes.
like I
Mm.
would just like take maybe this. Usually when I do these things, like, I would take this and then like for future use, just change it. No one, you shouldn't be writing code from scratch. Is that what I'm saying? You,
No.
like if it just takes too long, you're gonna get a lot of like it's like reinventing the wheel every single time.
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. That makes better sense. Okay.
and let's see. So for this one, like all these other ones are not that bad. Like so after them, the reading scores, math scores, they're pretty much the same thing, right?
Hmm.
Just changing the type of score, and this is where it changes, I believe. Yeah, when you're going by scores by, the other one is scores by. Yeah, scores by. So for this one, I had to recreate these guys because remember I did the dollar sign.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you had to retype. Sure.
Yeah. So like that kind of messes with the math. So like when I redo it and I did this numeric thing again, you, and after you do that, this is the more complicated one actually. Like how did you get to this point? The scores by school spending.
You know, I think I did because I didn't do the formatting as far as I remember. Um, you know, but let's see here.
Okay.
How far did I get? I know I got pretty far. I got code on every section. That doesn't mean
Hey, no, that's pseudocoding. You know, that's like the best thing is when you just
yeah.
try
Well,
everything.
yeah, yeah. I got let's see here. Here we are.
Because there's this command I'm using, rejects. Did you guys touch on rejects?
Rejects.
Yeah, it sounds like
I
reject.
don't think so.
It's a way to filter. I actually put this in I think my coding lab 6 for like it's like additional stuff that might that you're gonna have to like that maybe some people don't talk about it, but when you're
Mm.
filtering, this is a very flexible one.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that. No.
Okay, you can just like if you want to just copy this one right here because these are a couple of these are pretty weird.
Okay.
Yeah, because like up to this point, when you're doing this guy, it's not that bad. It's just the moment that you like creating the bin is easy. Creating the bin is not that bad. Uh, do you understand this part though? Like how I did, like so when I did the bin, it's just pretty much I took the minimum number and then the maximum number.
Right, right. And so I think I have similar to that because I found, we covered bins a little bit and then I um, kind of had to go back and kind of figure that out. So just to be able to do
No, I don't
ranges,
like the
is that
way
right?
I don't like the way like Matt like we're doing this. I think there seems to be for me it seems to me like very like old fashioned in a sense. Like you're actually manually doing this bin thing. I feel like there has to be a command somehow to
I'm sure there is.
you know what I mean? Like look at this. Like but the way I'm doing it, I think it works. Like it's just doing like creating a list here and then from this list creating your column or row labels. It's not bad, but it works because that's what it wants you to do, right? Create bins.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
or like a groups of things.
Yes, yes. Categorize each year.
So yeah, how does your code kind of did you group them? Like were you able to
I did see which one scores by school size. Is that what we're on, or
the first one? Yeah, scores by school spending. They're all the
scores by
same. Like the way you do them. Is pretty much the same.
school spending? I did the spending bin, spending range. So I always seem to be very wordy in my definitions. Um,
That's good. At least it explains.
I
Okay.
calculated the average spending. I calculated the average math and reading, then calculated the percent passing math. So I really split them out.
That's fine. Yeah, they could do
And
that.
then overall passing rate, and then created a data frame, and then scores by spending. However, even though I define this has happened to a couple of the charts, even though I think I defined
Yeah.
the name, and
Mm.
because it's right there, I defined it, it says it's not defined.
The name like this
Like
guy.
budget per student, or um like say you like group name school spending equals,
Okay.
something like that would pops up at the end like it's not defined, but I'm like it's right there, and I would rerun the whole thing because if it's a like a little glitch in Jupyter, I understand that
Probably.
sometimes happens,
Yeah, you have to
but
restart it.
yeah, I'm stuck there. So
Okay. That's fine. Like Yeah, so for these ones, you could definitely just take this. Like what I'll just explain what I did. So all of this is just so like to take care of like the dollar sign that I did. It really
Okay.
starts off here when when I do the bins, and
Mhm.
then when I categorize the data, what I did here is I kind of just for each bin I would cut them off. Like that's like my cut off, right? And you do this PD cut thing.
Oh,
That
okay.
command is where all because that's why this one has bins, and according to my bins, this is where it cuts off the data, and it shoots it right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
PD
it's a
cut.
really nifty thing. It's like a one liner. Like after you define your bins, right? You have your bins in a list. Um,
Right.
you use that bin, which is like part of the command for cut. It's part of the command for cut. Just look at what PD cut does or panda.cut, and then
Okay.
like using your bins, you cut off the groups of data, and then what you name those data is like your labels. I really don't like the way this is. Like, what does this? That's why I like them in one page or like one code block. So the
Yeah.
labels here become like the labels of where you cut them off. Really nifty, right? You just cut them. Like
Mm.
you don't have to do anything like longer than this. It's already made for you, so you might as well use it.
Nice.
And then after you do that, it's pretty much just put them in the range and then filtering them. And then this one, just more math. That this is the math you do to from in those bins. So
Mm-hmm.
after you have those bins, um, which is like, which is this guy, right?
Yep.
This is the new data that's grouped into these bins. You group them by the spending ranges, which are the bin cutoff, and then you do a bunch of statistics on them, and then you do the same thing. You put them in a data frame, you rearrange, you change the format, and then you output.
Mm-hmm.
And same with this guy, different range, and very very similar. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I think for this one, um, what I did is since you want this to be a by school type, I created this new variable, but I grouped it by school type. So that's what you wanted, and then so this one, it's not really, you don't really need a bin for this, because you could just group them by, there's like only two school types here, but let me
Mm.
see. Okay. So, and then after that, really simple. I think this is the easiest one, I think.
Right. Yeah. Well, after we've kind of, yeah, you glean all the information and then,
And you just use the same code. You want to be like when you're doing, right now, it doesn't matter. But as you can see, like the way I usually do these things, like there's like a certain system, right? Like I'm not doing something different from one versus another. Like there's groups and categories, and then there's like changing the format is after the rearrange. You want to be able to do that like after after
okay.
work, step back. Is it easily manageable by someone that's like reading your code or like editing it later on? I don't know if you guys get graded by that. Is that like a great grading rubric?
Formatting for, I think some of these things is optional. Obviously, I think that the more we have, the more it shows, and I think I have some of that in my code
That's good.
just to kind of play around with it,
Yeah,
so it's easier to read. But
yeah.
it's optional at this point. I'm sure for the group project, it's certainly
I'm thinking too. Like you guys definitely have to because it's like your deliverable to like a client.
yeah.
Like you're in that environment. It should be that environment. That's the reason why we're taking the classes.
Yeah, exactly.
It
So
should
yeah.
emulate what you're gonna be doing. In essence, it's probably like just one aspect, but it should a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So true. So true. Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, that's pretty much the gist of all of that. It's yeah, definitely take what I have here if like and then combine it with yours, and then like as long as you get the the flow, that's all I want. If you know the code flow, you can
Mm-hmm.
explain it to someone, and then like
Yeah.
maybe getting to a point where you can actually like type the because like efficiency is also the other thing, right? You could do one thing like many ways, but if you're gonna be doing a short one, it's better than like something that's like it takes like multiple lines of code. So
Right. Right.
yeah, You can, yeah, just I know Pandas isn't that bad, but we can definitely extend this one. I'm actually pretty excited once you guys get your matplotlib one. Looking at numbers all day is not really exciting. More just the behavior, because that's where you these numbers you can never tell what the behavior is. Like it's just
Right.
give someone who like it's like a it's like a deliverable for someone internally, not externally.
It's true. It's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what that is. Let me know if you want to do the other one later on.
No. I
Oh,
mean,
you,
if I want more practice on the pie moly, sure. But as terms of, I think next I just want to see um, if we can glean some of the errors out of mine. If I get stuck,
yeah, yeah.
like
Just
we
email me the
talked,
same as last time. Yeah, same
yeah.
like, yeah. I'll do my best to respond to it. Accordingly.
Well, I sent it to you, so I can share my screen. I hope.
Okay, let me stop sharing. Okay.
I'll try. Cross your fingers. If not, then
I could
I
always just send you the kind of like my debugging version of it, kind of like what we did, or like let you know how to debug it.
yeah, like what it is. Okay, let
Yeah.
me try. Okay, wish me luck.
Okay.
Jupyter screen. Okay, here we go. All right, you still there?
Okay, I'm still here.
Oh,
Yeah, I know. I think it's just random sometimes. It was just that day.
oh
Okay.
my gosh. Okay, so this is my version of yours, and
Okay, so that part looks good. It looks very. I mean, yeah, reading it, creating a data frame. Yeah,
so
merging
nothing,
it.
yeah, nothing popped up. I imported pandas. I didn't do import numpy. We had just started doing that. I don't know if I need to.
For which one?
The dependencies and setup, I just imported pandas.
Let me see. I
Is
think
that something that's mandatory? You
no,
think
no. Yeah, it is. No, no.
it is? Okay.
It's up to you. It's up to you. I was joking. It
Oh,
only
don't.
only if you have to use it. I don't think you have to use it, right? You could just use all because like Pandas itself has NumPy, right?
Yes.
Pandas is
Yes.
built off NumPy in essence.
So I'm gonna leave
You
as
don't need it, I
is.
think. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think I used it. I don't know why I put that there. I usually put them together.
Okay. Well, now we do after, now that we're in matplotlib, we have
You have to do
matplotlib,
NumPy, yeah.
pandas, and the numpy together. Um, so I, codes to myself. I said, remember to change these because I
That's
wasn't
good.
sure if I did
I
this
usually do
right.
that too. Yeah, like
Yeah.
when I'm taking notes in class, I actually use the remember actually I sent you the notebooks, right? My notebook.
You did. I haven't gone through them yet.
If you
Yeah.
do like to experiment, oh you know how to do it actually. It's right. You did the markdown. Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did
because I
I?
was wondering if you wanted to like learn that, but you already know how to. Because for me, the way I typically learn like markdowns was I use like it. I forced myself to do all my essays or like documents, whatever I
Mhm.
needed to do in Word. Rather than in Word, I use like Markdown in Python to do it. So I kind of forced
Oh.
myself to learn it. And the one thing that's not good is you can't actually print to PDF. And you can't file save it as a PDF, but you can print it as PDF.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see here. So I'm reading these CSV files. I'm combining the data into a single data set. So it's similar enough to yours, right?
Yeah. This
So
sounds good.
that part, fine. Then we get to the calculations. So let me
Okay.
switch left here. So total schools, the length, total students, total budget, average math score, average reading score,
Okay.
students passing the math, students, student person. So I took the math and kept that together, the grabbing
I
the
see.
data
Okay.
and then doing the percentage. The same with the reading. So I kept those two separate.
Okay.
Then I calculated the overall passing rate. So math and reading, and then
Oh, that's good. Okay, you rounded it. Yeah, that's a good command. Round.
round, and then
Yeah, that's kind of similar to like if you were to format it, you could just round it.
round it. Okay.
Right? You could just round it. Like if you want it to be like significant to 3 instead of
Yeah.
like 7. Okay.
Then I created the data frame to hold the results. So similar to yours, just holding the titles.
That's good. This is really good actually. Yeah. Yeah, you did the format. Okay, good.
Now I don't know, you
Or
know,
like not format, but rearranged it, right?
rearranged it, yeah. And then, so again, setting everything up and then displaying it. And this was the first error I came out with.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it does this. Let's take a look at the school ID. Is that how it's
School
telling me
data
school?
complete.
Yeah, what is that?
Total schools. So number 2, here we go. Total schools equals length, student data complete. Now I have DF at the end, and I was thinking that was probably what was throwing it, but I need it to be a data frame, don't I? So
Do you have that defined though? Try to go up. It must be something from up here that's not the same name. Do you have that defined anywhere? School data complete
school
DF?
data, I have school data, not school data underscore DF.
Yeah, is that what it's supposed to be?
I'm thinking, I didn't change it yet. I'm thinking that's probably what it might be.
For the one I have, let me see. Total. You did total schools, right?
Total schools.
It must be what I did was the merge one. It must be the school data complete. I think that's the one you want, maybe. School data complete. Yeah. Just take out the DF.
Okay.
I think for all of them, yeah.
For all of them? Okay.
Yeah, you're just gonna pop out another error because that one isn't defined anywhere. Like that, when you get like a name error or a key error, it's a naming thing. It's like the name of a variable.
Okay, because I thought I was redefining, including it. Yeah, this is okay.
Because you know how like the name right here, what you're doing inside this is you're slicing it, right? You're filtering the data frame you defined to like a certain size or budget or school ID, right?
Okay.
Yep.
So I'm not defining it there. I'm actually doing a function there. So okay, let me go through this again and make sure, and then maybe no.
What line is this?
11 average math score.
Let's take a look at that one. School
Student
data
data.
complete. Oh wait, do you have that? Do you have school data complete as like an not school, it's student data complete.
Student data complete. I have nope. Oh no, right here. Right here.
You have school, but then do you have the student one? Maybe did you mean school? Let's take a look at that one first.
Okay.
Just compare
Line 11, average math score.
Let me take a look at mine.
Data complete.
Okay, I think for that I did the merge as well. Maybe just do school data complete.
Oh, school data complete. Okay.
Yeah.
Line 11, school data complete.
Yeah, just change the student. Like it's the same. Just change the student one. The student
Okay.
one, right? Like to school or what? It doesn't matter. Okay.
Well, I just want to make sure it's grabbing. Yeah, the right. Okay.
I think that should be good. But then change the other ones too.
Oh my.
Yeah,
I screwed that one up.
This is the part like it takes a while to like like look at because like maybe you did like one part like and then you did the next one another time. Okay.
Okay, let's see here. Got to go back through. All right. Cross our fingers.
Just say okay. It's these guys.
Oh my lands. Okay, so I'll clean that up so I know to. I'll go through that.
I thought there was like a command where like control find and find and replace.
Oh, is there?
I thought there was one. Like there should be one, no?
Right.
Because like that would take forever.
This is gonna take a while, so I'll But I'll clean that up now that I know kind of where the error is and what's
Okay.
happening. So the next section, what I ended up with is invalid syntax on school type, school data complete group by. So
Full time.
let me file line 6. Line 6, school syntax error.
Let's look at the end of that. It says, you said dot unique.
Dot unique with parens.
Usually when I do dot, you could probably do you could do index. Maybe just use index instead of group by and unique, because unique can only be done if you're not with group by. You can't do group by with unique. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just one of those things. Try to put in let me see what do you have. Dot in after the data frame, yeah. Dot set, I think it's set underscore index. So set underscore index. Yeah.
Like
and
that?
then you put it, yeah, and then you put in school. Is that the label name? Yeah, that's the label
Yeah,
name.
school and then type.
And this is good, just delete dot unique.
Do I need the parens at the end though, or am I good?
Just no, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
right.
like what is the you had another command afterwards. What is that doing?
This is defining it as a string.
You need that one.
I don't know if I necessarily need it. I just was trying to add code.
let me see. you just wanted to put something. Try running it. Just run it, and like see, the thing is like you might want to output it and see, but like run it and see if you. Obviously, I think this runs line number 39.
Okay.
I think that should have fixed it. Something happened. What happened?
Line 6, school type.
Oh, is the DF is the school data complete? That I think that's another thing. It's the same thing, right? School data complete.
School data, yes.
Is it school complete? DF?
No, it's
It's the one that we had before, right?
School data complete, not under. Yeah, anything that I had school data complete, I think I added the DF. I think I was trying to create the data frame.
Okay.
Afterwards, and then define it, even though it's in a function. Okay.
Okay.
Oh wait. Now what?
Oh, that one. You said you were gonna fix that later on, right? For that one.
For this one?
The district one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's just try to take out the DF for that line. For line 6. How come it's not running still? What?
Is it? I wonder. I have school in single quotes with the parens and then type in brackets. I don't know why.
No, that's what I did. That's what I did as well.
Okay.
But like for mine's, let's see. I did school DF. That's set. And then what is my school DF? Oh, is it just not the school data complete? I think it's just the school DF. Try go to the top again.
Okay. The very top. Okay.
Yeah. You know how like you had this school data?
Oh, okay. So I'm reading the CSV. I'm not combining in this section.
I think it's just the school data. Like try go put in school data instead, not the data complete. Data complete means you merged it, right? That's what you meant, right?
Yes.
Data complete means you merged it, I think. I think it's just school data. Yeah, try this one.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh my, what is going on, man?
Maybe that's a copy Paul section.
Let's take a look at it again. The school thing. No, because it looks exactly. Let me just. We can fix this one, like using your code. Do you have school? Do you know if school is a label? School inside the string, is that a label?
School, is that a label?
let's take a. Oh, nothing popped out yet. That's why. So we don't know.
Yeah, I have no
Try
idea.
go to all the way to the top, and then like in this one, like in like code block 11, try to display school data. Just type it somewhere after line 14.
Sorry, my code goes all the way out. Here, I know.
I really hate that. I wish there was like word wrap.
Let's see here. Sorry. And anytime I try and cut corners, I end up cutting something off. Okay. So, okay, I'm so immersed into plot.py that, what is this one?
Just
To
put in
show?
school data. Just type the name. School data. Like we just want to see if there's this if the school label is in there, or school column name.
Is that right?
No, it doesn't matter. You just school data without the parentheses is fine. Just run it. Okay. I think it's school name, isn't it? It's school underscore name. I think that's the one. School
School
underscore.
name. Yeah.
There's no school like label. It's school underscore. Try to do that. Try actually go back to the bottom and then change school string into school name. It's like one of these like scavenger things. Like you really have. That's why you have to like look into the strings and the labels. It's like a back and forth.
Ay.
Yeah,
So
there is
this
no.
is,
So it's school underscore name. Inside after the index, the string inside,
oh, got it.
school underscore name. I think that's
Okay.
yeah. Run it.
Okay.
What the?
Let's move on. Let's move on. We're
I
gonna.
know, right?
Okay, so then top performing. So you had longer code.
For this one?
So here is defining top performing schools
Yeah.
by sorting all the values.
The thing is with this one, I use like, are you able to output school summary? This one, top performing schools, is based off the previous. That's why, and we don't have that one, right?
Oh,
So all
yeah.
the errors are gonna carry over.
Yeah, everything carried. But you know what was weird? So, oh, okay, this went bad again. It was fine at first, and then
The
I ran
DF.
it.
I think for this one, just remove the DF, the underscore DF. Try doing that.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. I think that's what it is.
I
That's what
got carried away with data frames.
See, it's not defined because there's an error up top.
Yeah. Okay.
It technically is defined, but then we just have to fix the previous error.
Previous errors and then go through there. So same year, it's not defined. Is not defined. So that's where I ran into trouble. Everything's not defined.
This is what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
Every time you get this, the name error is because of like a spelling thing. And then everything else, because you had a spelling error up top, will all be name errors because it's not defined.
It's nuts. Okay. So everything is. So I give up. I'll clean it for the next bit. And then if I run into like I'm completely stuck, then I'll look at yours. But again, like last time, I want to do my best and see how far I get before crying.
Yeah, definitely do that one. You'll get it soon. You'll get it soon. It's like I said, it is frustrating though, the debugging. No one likes it unless you're really like that though. Some people are like that. They love the debugging.
Yeah, no. Not me.
Oh yeah, I didn't include it in mine, but were there questions you had to answer for this?
It just a README file of an overview of the analysis, and so when I get to the end, what I did. So I think overall the type. So I think in the end it's like by charter school or by public school, I believe. Yeah. Who performs better, what type of school. And so I just read a little blurb on that, a summary blurb, but
okay.
Yeah, so far they haven't had us do like super in-depth analysis besides the VBA one, but
Yeah.
this Python one, they seem to have accepted whatever BS I say. So
For the most part, like yeah, it's not like one of those like it's not that class. This class is more like the programming class. Like
yeah,
there's classes where you use programs, but then this class is actually learning the program, which is good.
yeah, it's learning the program, and then the projects will definitely come down to the analysis part and decomposing the questions and the output, um, and making sure what our thoughts are on the project and stuff. So I think that's where that type of thing will really come into play. But I try and do a little bit of analysis in each one so they know I'm at least looking at the data and
Yeah.
somehow comprehending something, and then
I think that part that's always the thing with was it data science is when you're or even with statistics like it's always the questions you ask in the beginning and then like what doing the analysis is good but what is it really telling you, but I feel like
yeah,
that part really depends on like what did you want to accomplish, at the beginning thing, like what was the whole like point of this.
right. This one I'm wondering, but no, I mean I think that's through all of this, I think, in the end, that's the question they'll want answered is,
The
are,
conclusion.
yeah, the conclusion, top performing schools, are they charter or public, bottom performing schools,
Yeah,
and then you answer like
tell
in
your
your own
story.
head. Yeah, tell the story, like why, or,
Yeah,
and then what do you
that's
think is
always the
missing?
case. Yeah, like after you do like, that's why it's nice. Like, that's why I feel like data science. There is a science into it now. It's not just like because there's so much data, and that's actually something. Maybe I'll explain this to you more later, but it's actually very much related to. There's like this whole math field now about because all of this is just interpolation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, I think you guys will learn it at SK Learn or SK Learn, right? I think did your professors talk about that one?
SK Learn. I don't
SK
remember.
Learn.
We could. I mean, it surprises me every week what he has us do. So, um,
It's like there's like so many different ways. Like this is just like touching the surface is like rearranging the data, right? Or
yeah,
doing some like interpretation of what you already have. But besides doing that, he's definitely gonna touch on it. Is you can actually classify, and then kind of like predict from this. You can predict something that will happen in the future, knowing what you.
we will have a forecasting, a prediction model at some point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do kind of remember that.
Okay, that's like the most exciting part. I think that's where I actually would like to, dive deeply on if you guys get to it.
Sure, sure. Don't worry, I'll be giving you all my work so you can debug and look and review, and I'll just be
Okay.
crying in the corner. No.
But it's. Are you having fun with like actually? You like I said, a lot of times, it's just like if the whole debugging thing will take time,
Yeah.
but as long as you get the concept of why you're doing it and the system, I think in the end, like yeah, the debugging will come. Like even I, there's still things that like your professor, he probably doesn't do live coding, right? Or does he?
He does live code. He'll we'll be typing along with him, and
Okay.
he'll explain, and but that's he does record the session, so I do go back and listen. I haven't listened to every one. um
Okay.
because
Yeah.
when you're when I'm coding along with him, I don't catch everything because I'm making sure he types so fast that
Oh my,
I
that's good though. I want to see that. No, he's probably really like how like the way we think, the way we type is not the same speed as the way we think. Maybe
yeah,
his typing is the way he thinks, right? Like he's gotten to
could
that point.
be. Could be, yeah. He's definitely in that world. That's his life, and
That's good.
so yeah. So he knows his stuff for sure, for sure. So
Okay.
he's probably wondering like what he's doing with all of us. So
No, but like that's fun though. Actually, like everyone always has their motivation. Like after they've done like their main thing, they go back and then kind of like teach it the next legacy. You know, like
yeah,
generation. have a legacy in the next generation. And then
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably like this thing, especially with like machine learning, you could teach this online. It doesn't really take away time. You could be in this,
It's true.
right?
It's true. I mean, he's at
There's some
home.
jobs
He's
that you can't do that. So
yeah, no, this is one luckily that we can do virtually, which I'm very thankful for. Because I was a little worried when I first signed up, like with is he gonna? Do I have to drive down to Irvine? Every 3 times a week, and COVID. You just don't know. And so
yeah,
this has worked out pretty well. I mean, you know, sometimes I wish it would go. I mean, every week I wish it would go slower, but I know it's a boot camp. I get it. It's just
yeah.
I need to.
Is there another? Is there? I'm actually curious. Is there another class after this, or is this just that one class?
This is a 6-month course. If I wanted to move forward, then I have to apply for a master's of data science.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does this
Or
count? Will this count towards that if you were to?
I don't know. I think it's just a separate. I don't think so. It's just a separate certificate program.
Okay.
And I'm a mid-career professional. I don't necessarily need a master's at this point in my.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I already
Yeah,
have
it's
2
usually the
degrees.
boot camp are the ones. It's like learning a program. I seen that a lot. Like just learning a program and using it.
Yeah, at this point I'm learning skills. I don't need more theory. I get enough of that.
Yeah.
I don't need that theory anymore because I'm applying every day at work.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so yeah, everything I learn from now on is purely skill based and not some theory, but it's more
It's
important
really
to learn the
pointless, right?
skill. Yeah.
No, that's why when I always like think when you're doing like when someone was asking like what careers you should pick, it, or where you should go for school. It like a lot of times when you pick a school, it's good to have that industry like aspect to it already. It's really weird when you go to school and like especially if you go to Berkeley. Like I'm just gonna name everything is very theoretical, and then
Yeah.
like when once you go to industry, like you'll never really, you will, but not deeply to that extent, and then there's no industry like things that are being taught in school, and that's like deadly.
No. No, and that's why we will hire all these well, we don't really hire that many Gen Zs and millennials, and it's you really have to. They don't Theory doesn't get you very far. It used to, certainly,
Yeah,
when you could definitely hone your skill in marketing, and
yeah,
interior design was all kind of like this. It was all hands-on approach, so
okay,
it's purely, it was like art school. You just learn by doing. And so in that
there you go.
respect, this
Yeah.
coding is kind of like that.
Learn
you
better by
know
coding. Yeah, coding is like definitely, like I said, that's the one thing. And I'm surprised now. Like I'm getting these like the clients for tutoring where they're teaching coding in like middle school. Can you imagine this? In middle school.
that's so smart. It's crazy, but it's
I
so
never learned
smart.
coding. Like coding was always just like one code, and it
Yeah.
was like a small part. It may be like only one project of a class. But
Yeah.
now, like before you even get to college, like they're dabbing into these like different like skills that weren't there in the beginning. But then again, like it's probably because of like the technology, era, and that's why
Yeah.
they're like the curriculum just had to evolve with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's mandatory for them. I'm sure that I don't think none of them know how to write with a pen and paper anymore. The handwriting
I
is
do. I still do.
atrocious. Yeah.
I know. I always feel for my mantra is always like learning all those skills. You have to
Yeah.
be flexible. Like
Yeah.
when you need to have paper and pencil, you need that. If you need like a stick, you might as well design with a stick as well. Like you gotta be flexible, and like
Yeah.
learning all the different languages. Like I said, dab into some of the language once you learn something.
Yeah.
And in maybe the language that's actually practical.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What am I actually going to use? And so it's funny. Like in design, it's like you have to use, draft. Everybody's used to CAD now, and CAD was fine, and it's
Yeah.
very robust program, and I get it. But boy, in the end, if you're on a job site,
Yeah.
drafting a quick wall and a schematic
Mm.
saves your life sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Like what was so the I didn't actually explain like the field that I'm on. Like I'm actually doing kind of design work as well. Like you're
Okay.
doing interior design. Like I didn't know.
Yeah, I was doing some of that. I'm actually work at a paint company now, and I do their trend
Oh, okay,
forecasting analysis and some design work.
okay.
But I'm in corporate now, so yeah, it's a little
Oh,
bit of that,
okay.
not like I used to, but yeah, similar.
That's
Yeah,
what you did before. Okay.
yeah.
How's interior design though? Like, is that hard to? My mom actually wants to do that. Like, I was just wondering if
Yeah,
it's pretty exciting, watching HGTV and stuff.
yeah, it's
It's lucrative. Is what I'm saying. Like, it's profitable in a sense. Like, you can learn
uh
maybe a few skills. I don't know if I'm wrong. Like, you can learn a few skills and like really make a business out of it. Is what I'm saying.
you can if it is a lot of hard work. I mean, it
A
is
lot of hard.
not so much.
What if I'm not so good at drawing? Like, I'm just like mediocre. Will I be able to survive?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every some when you'll find in school is like you're good at color and
Color.
texture and textiles, and so I'm good in that world, and I'm good at drafting. I'm great at drafting. In
Oh, okay.
AutoCAD,
Yeah.
it was very hard for me because I didn't use it that much,
I
in
like
the
that.
everyday.
Yeah.
And core color rendering. But then you get to when you're out in the real world and you get to um, setting up your business or working in the business,
Yeah.
10, maybe 5% is pulling a design together. The other part, the majority of it is project management, purchasing,
Mm.
dealing with issues with furniture not arriving with your tile, being stuck in
The
depending
logistic
on
part.
how
The
all the
managing.
logistics. It's a nightmare, and
Yeah.
it takes years off of you. So
And dealing with like a complicated client that wants to change your
that's a tough one.
design.
That's a very
You
tough
last
one when
minute.
you just want to tell them off, but they hired you,
Yeah.
and
Yep. Yeah.
you have to perform, and then you have a trade that maybe doesn't perform or doesn't show up, and then but it's under your umbrella, so how do you
Yeah.
fix that?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
it's
All those times. Yeah. I think I like that. That's like kind of that's why I actually I was wondering if you could actually apply like machine learning, like data science to design. What do you think of that question? Do you think you could apply it to design?
I don't know if I could apply. What I could
The
do is like more forecasting,
forecasting, like
like
what though?
color predictions, design
Oh, okay.
predictions.
Like actually do
Um,
like teaching like a computer to do that for you, right? Like machine learning.
yeah, like what I do right now in terms of color and design forecasting is it's a lot of manual research, and then I also keep track of our color sales, for
Okay.
paint, and so you've got a lot of data there, and
Yeah.
so using we use SAP, and then
Okay.
it translates into Excel programs.
Okay.
But then from there, so I can able to just fill in some very manual charts, or yeah, just charts. But beyond that, if there's a way to you can create a model perhaps to
Okay.
help you predict, like, hey, warm neutrals are trending up, is that truly the case? And you just kind of see the uptick in sales, of a certain group of colors. Or
Okay.
globally in the world of design, is brutalism coming back, or is it pure traditional? Are people interested in historic design, or do they care? Is it merely just all modern? Is it all farmhouse like HGTV? Is
For
it
me, like I think my thing is mid-century. Actually, if you see my place, it's a lot of mid-century stuff here.
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Even the
Very
house is
involved.
mid-century.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, very involved in We're very involved in Modernism Week in Palm Springs. So was there a
Okay.
lot before COVID. So lived there quite a bit. You know, was there a lot.
But
But
yeah, that's kind of like the question I'm trying to figure out is how is because you know how about the wildfire stuff? You could actually there's an industry for that where you could apply machine learning and
mm,
like it's kind of like weather forecasting, right? It's
oh,
kind of
okay,
it's machine learning. Weather forecasting is machine learning. Like that's
okay,
how they're getting their models that to predict. But then like the wildfire thing is like something that is already like this, it's in the research realm, but at the same time, there's already something there. But in design itself, how is it even applicable? Like, you know,
yeah. And interior design,
still trying to like figure it out.
right, right. No, it's
Like
a lot of it's a
applicability, yeah.
it's
Because
a
like it seems
lot
like it's like
of
it seems like someone has to figure out that still. It's like a gap.
yeah.
There's a science, and then there's something that's already there, the
You
standard.
need human. You need human. Yeah, you do because it's in intuition. So
Yeah,
it's a leap of faith
yeah,
on some trends. It's taking a chance on, you know, certain nuggets of information like, hey, this artist um, is going to make an impact and then create this type of impact in the world, based on their
mm,
exhibit, or, something happens currently in a corner of the city or a corner of the region that
okay.
may not happen elsewhere in the world, but it's like mid-century modern, it really took off again about 2010, 2011.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
That's why actually I'm still young, but like that's why I got into like liking that.
yeah, yeah,
The
and it's
color, you
it's
know, like the pop of color, and then everything is like neutral. So I don't know, like that stuff. It's like, oh man, it
yeah.
looks so nice.
Yeah, it's a cool design and it really took off. I mean, it started here in California and it took off
Yep,
again
yeah,
here. And then it's amazing, even today people are still discovering it globally. And so people come from all over the world to Palm Springs, to California in general, to the region in general, to research because they're just finding it. But we've known about it and I've
for
talked
ages.
about it for over a decade of the resurgence, but
Yeah.
it's that trickle effect of how far it can go, you know. So
Okay.
some of that isn't model prediction. It's just, an intuition and like there's something here. People are talking about it. It's a little, networking event, but there's something here and that you can't do machine learning with that.
That's the I think I feel like it's this is here I'll pop this question. I have time. I have like a 5 o'clock. But anyways, this is one question I always like wonder is like you know how in like I guess in physics, you know, there's like when you're in English and what's it called in machine learning, you're trying to interpolate data, right?
Hmm.
Like that's really what it is. But like, how can you get physics into it so that you can actually design something?
Oh,
Because like
oh,
you usually use just like a bunch of equations to design something, but then
right.
machine learning is really that's why they created the science. But then it's like a science of data prediction, right?
Hmm.
But can you put like it's just like looking at data and then seeing how the pattern in the data, but does it really take in like physical thing like attributes in a sense?
Well, I don't know. Is that what like 3D modeling is? 3D printing is it takes
That
a
yeah, I
set of
know.
math equations and then actually physically outputs a product.
Maybe.
So,
That's because then that would make things easier because then you could just relate it. Like you could have a bunch of like, you know, maybe experiments, like experimental
yeah,
data points. That's I know that field is
yeah,
also there. It's like you have a bunch of data points from like an experiment, and then you want to predict. You yourself because experiments are so expensive, right? Like they're so
right.
expensive.
Yeah.
So so that you can actually like lessen the amount of money, you can actually just like use a machine learning like program and feed it maybe like 5 data points, and
Hmm.
then you could use that instead of like testing it 100 times. That's there, but then the question is it physically is the answer physically true?
Yeah,
Or are you just looking like looking at a data like plain black and white and not really accounting for physics?
right. Having it come to life.
Yeah.
That would be a question for physics today.
or any other.
Yeah.
Because I
Any
feel like
sort
that.
of
I feel like
scientific journal.
and I think the other thing with machine learning as well is can you extrapolate? Because everything is interpolated, right? Like
Hmm.
like you have a set of existing data, but can you just extrapolate from it? Like, or is it only something that what if like a city doesn't perform the same way as another city? They're not really related. Is your interference with like one the same as? But I feel like there's just so many one of those like questions. The field is still growing.
Yeah, I mean, it's so new. I mean, it'll grow by leaps and bounds. I'm sure at some point your question will be answered in
Yeah.
some.
The one thing is though, like that I wonder is like, how come machine learning is really good at like, well, I guess weather isn't really reliable, right?
But yeah, I mean, come on. The only job where you can be wrong half the time and it's fine.
Yeah.
So,
And maybe that's why is there hope really in machine learning?
yeah.
Because like even that itself, that is we've had weather people for a long time, and that's machine learning at its core.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's all prediction though, and it's all relying on how many sets of variables that are so unknown. You kind of know seasonally,
Yeah,
climate
that's what I'm thinking
wise,
because there is science there, right? There's some physics there.
for sure, absolutely for sure. But in the end, it's it's out of your control. So you know, I who knows,
Yeah,
but
there's
I'm
there's still
sure.
so much. It is exciting, but I feel like there's still. I feel like someone should take it more up a notch, like someone in the practical realm, not like in the computer science. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
someone that's actually doing design, someone in industry, and seeing that set of eyes. Like, let me use machine learning in my field of like
Hmm.
applications, and see how I can
Maybe
improve it.
architecture. Architecture
Exactly.
uses
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
yeah,
How can
and
you apply
they
it to architecture
well,
and engineering, whatever?
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's, you have a physical output of a model, and it's mathematical equations
Yeah,
behind the computer code.
yeah. You can
That
code those equations. Yes, like you can
Yep.
code them, but what if you use data? That's the thing I can't figure. Like, what if you use data? Does it still give you the same like result? Like, what if you
um
experimented it and then you could use the equations to predict something, right? Like that's what the equations are there to
yeah, that I
predict.
don't know. I mean, they have a program um out of AutoCAD came Revit,
Revit,
and
yeah. Oh, how good are you with Revit? Like
I'm
AutoCAD,
not.
I love AutoCAD, the 2D thing, but the Revit is so like not friendly.
Yeah, I never got to use. I just know about it. I never touched it, and that looks so overwhelming to me. I didn't like CAD, so I know I really wasn't gonna deal with Revit. I would have messed up my entire computer system. So
I know AutoCAD actually you probably already know this, but you know how AutoCAD you could use like code, right? Like, you could feed it code somehow
somehow,
to
yeah.
but like I don't know about Revit. Like my friend was telling me like, oh yeah, Revit sucks because it's so not flexible.
I mean, it's a very rigid. I mean, and it makes sense because architecture, you need to have finite principles in
Yeah,
architecture to make sure a building
there's
stands.
more capabilities I feel, but it's like one of those things like you try to extend something to like apply it to another dimension, right?
Yeah.
But then there, you're opening your can of worms. There's so many things that can go wrong with
Yeah, exactly. Do
which
you
is
really want to
2D.
open it up? What will happen to that bridge if you decide to experiment?
I know, right? I know. It's kind of like the Tacoma's bridge. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I don't think I want to be the first one driving over it, but let me know how it goes, and we'll go from there. So
Okay. Okay. Sorry. I think we went on a trail here, but
yeah, exactly. But I'll continue to attempt my homework and debug as much as I can. if I get stuck, I'll use some of your code, but I get the gist of it as
Yeah,
I,
that's awesome. Yeah.
you know, getting through it. And eventually some of this will sink in more. It's just going to take me a little longer than the rest of the
Yeah.
class, but I'll get there.
I think everyone in class is different, right? Like they're not all like in the same like place. So
No, some are IT, some are programmers that already know. So this is really easy to them. There's a few people like me that this is very brand new. In fact, a couple of them in my study group reached out, and because I did say, you know, I was at my rope's end and I hired private tutoring to help me out.
yeah.
Because you know they're free tutors for, you only get one session a week and it's
Yeah.
not
I know what
that
you mean.
helpful, you know. So I let them know about, you know, frog tutoring, so we'll see. They may,
Oh, really? Yeah.
yeah,
If they need help, let me know.
yeah, I mean, they're like, you know, a couple of them are very lost, and you know, it's like people who've lost their jobs and have, you know, moms with kids at home and are just really trying to learn and get into a new industry to get a new job. And
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of that mid-career change that is forced on a few of these people. So I'm sure you'll be getting calls here soon.
Yeah, I'm busy as is though, but like yeah, that's definitely if you do find someone that like, because I love doing this. Like this is the other part that I love doing is like not just like tutoring, but like coding tutoring, because
Yeah,
it's something that's needed. I feel like everyone,
yeah.
yeah, there's not much people that like, okay, never mind that. That know a lot of languages. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, in this you know, whoever's going through my class, it's the exact same lesson plan, you know. It's just a different person you'd be teaching. So you
Yeah.
know, I think just, you know, they're pondering it, where I know one lady's pondering it, so I'm sure
Okay. Yeah, market it.
for
Okay.
sure, for sure.
Okay. All right, sorry. Yeah, just let me know. Oh yeah, let me know if you have that. Not. Do you guys have another homework right before the project?
Yeah, so I'll reach out Thursday as soon as he uploads everything, and then schedule. Friday's going to be tough. I'm going to try. I have a photo
Yeah,
shoot that
actually,
day, but
Friday sucks for me. Friday sucks for me. Remember I told you about the Fridays now?
yes, that's right.
Yeah. So Saturdays like this day and then Saturday, but Fridays for me are not good. Saturday is
Okay.
good for me though. If you wanna take a look at that, and maybe I was thinking about giving you like the matplotlib like abridged, you know, like concise version of what you guys did,
Okay.
and some like some new commands. I did send you that video right for matplotlib.
I saw something. I haven't been able to touch it yet, but you did send something over. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, those ones they're fun to just like review if you know there's something there that like there's a lot of people that make videos. If there's something there that I always have this library of things where like I take up and just show people, and then they ask me questions about it. If there's something that you want to like go like explore, let me know, and then
Okay.
maybe I'll put that in my like notebook that I'm gonna write. But I am gonna write you the matplotlib notebook for you
That'd be
like
perfect.
to keep, and then your next homework, yeah, if you guys have that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll probably, you know, the same as this last week, because Saturday, you know, after the 4-hour class, I just, I kind of become a zombie.
Oh
So
my goodness.
I'll
Sunday's
try,
fine
but
for me too.
Sunday worked well for me,
Yeah,
in
I forget.
terms of
Yeah,
just,
we did Sunday last time, right? I forget. That's like
yeah, and
I
that
think we
worked really well.
okay, we'll do Sunday then. Because yeah,
Okay.
remember I said there was like 4 people on the Sunday.
Yeah, you got
I'm totally
hit.
fine though. Like I said, this is my decompressor. So
Okay, well, I'll try Saturday if I'll see how I feel by the end of this week, and
okay,
see what I can do.
cool. All right then.
Okay,
Have a good
thank
one.
you. You
Yeah.
too. Bye-bye.